Okay, so I went camping with some friends this past weekend, and yes, it is Thanksgiving weekend here in Canada. I know a lot of my viewers are from America, and yes, in case you didn't know, we celebrate Thanksgiving here in October here in Canada. Yeah, I know, we're weird like that. So, anyways, if you're wondering why there was no video this weekend, that's why. So on this trip, one of my friends posted some photos of us camping as we were camping, and apparently he was getting messages from people telling him, yo, is that the guy from the videos? So I guess you can say, I'm famous now? So in case if you're wondering where I went this past weekend, I went to Oyster Lake Provincial Park, which is about a 2-hour drive up north from where I am now. So I'll post a map and I'll post some photos. It was pretty nice. One of the nights was pretty cold though, so I think it got down to like -4 degrees, but you know, a little hypothermia never killed anyone, right? Anyways, let's jump into today's topic though. So what are we talking about today? Well, I thought for today I want to have a discussion with you guys. In particular, I wanted to talk about the next big thing. So what do I mean by the next big thing though? Well, I think every decade or so there's sort of a big technological revolution that completely changes the way that we think about things and we like think about daily tasks, right? So for example, from like 2007-ish till now, we can kind of think of the smartphone revolution as the next big thing, right? So it wasn't that long ago when people thought that cell phones were only good for making phone calls. And nowadays it's like if you want to make a phone call with a smartphone, it's like, what kind of barbarian are you, right? And before the smartphone, you can think of maybe the internet itself as being sort of the revolution. Just think of how many jobs or entire industries that have been created just because of the internet. So a lot of industries wouldn't even exist without the internet, right? So fast forward to 2020 though, I think for the next 10 years or so, between 2020 and 2030, is going to be the electric vehicle revolution. So, of course, I am talking about my bullish thesis on Tesla once again, but it's not just Tesla though, it's the entire industry. So regardless of whether or not you believe in Tesla, the company itself, it's pretty clear that even traditional car manufacturers like GM, Ford, Toyota, Volkswagen, they all have to go electric very soon because some countries are actually going to make it illegal for you to sell a brand new gasoline vehicle by, let's say, 2030. So I kind of see the electric vehicle as being the bane of existence to the internal combustion engine, the same way that the iPhone was the bane of existence to the BlackBerry. So you'll notice a theme here, which is that when a company thinks that they've perfected a technology, like for example a physical keyboard on a phone, they just expect things to stay the same forever, right? Like how it was in BlackBerry. So, you know, like if you were BlackBerry back in 2007, you'd be like, we have no competitors, right? We have nothing to worry about because no other company can make a better phone with a better physical keyboard than us. And, you know, arguably that's still true up until today, right? BlackBerry still makes the best phones with physical keyboards. But what you notice here is that it doesn't matter after a while, right? So the market has moved away from physical keyboards. And that's exactly what's happening with the electric vehicle space, I feel like right now, where companies like Toyota, Volkswagen, GM, Ford, they've perfected the internal combustion engine, but the game has changed from underneath them. So this is why I'm a big believer in companies like Tesla and Hyliion, and this is why I'm continuing to invest in this space heavily myself, to be buying into electric vehicle companies. Okay, but I want to look further though. So I know a lot of you are kicking yourself in the shin for missing that huge run up in Tesla stock for the past year. So a lot of you are looking at what the next big revolution will be. I mean like beyond 2030, right? So for the next like, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 years. Of course, nobody knows this for sure. We're just all speculating, right? So I'm just speculating. It's fun to speculate. And to be honest, you only need to be right once in your life. So what I mean by that is that pretend that you correctly predicted the smartphone revolution back in 2007, right when the iPhone first came out, and you bought Apple stock right then and there. Well, then it's safe to say that you probably would have made a pretty penny on your Apple stock. Or pretend you correctly predicted the rise of e-commerce and bought shares of, let's say, Amazon or Alibaba as soon as you were able to. Then you would have made quite a decent profit on that as well. Of course, again, it's easier said than done, right? But I'm just saying, if you did make this bet, you would be rich off of this just one single bet. So once again, what's going to be the next big thing after electric vehicles though? Well, okay, how about we do this? You pause the video right now and let me know down in the comments on what you think the next big thing is, and I'll share my opinion on this as well, and then I'll give my answer. So go ahead, pause the video, and comment down below. I'll wait here. So have you made your guesses? Anyways, remember before I begin, this is just pure speculation, okay? So I have no extra information or anything like that, and I don't want to hear from you guys a month later and being like,
"You're such an idiot, none of the things you said came true."
Again, this is for the really long term, right? And of course, I have no like extra information, and this is just my opinion and not financial advice. Okay, so here's what I think is going to be the next big thing in the next few decades or so. And my answer is space explorations technology. Yeah, that's right, rockets and space mining. Now, before you dislike the video, hear me out, okay? So you're probably wondering, why would we go to space for any other reason other than it's cool? Well, there are actually a few economic reasons why we will want to go to space. And the first reason is that all the stuff that you think are rare here on Earth, like gold, silver, platinum, diamonds, well, guess what? They're actually not that rare in outer space. Asteroids are known to contain all of those elements and more, and all we need is to capture one asteroid, and we have, you know, more of that precious metal than the entire supply that we have here on Earth. So I know you think that that's sci-fi, and I'm certainly not saying that that's going to happen anytime soon, but I think that in my lifetime is definitely something that is achievable. If you think that is crazy talk, let me just remind you that back in the 19th century, aluminum was actually worth more than gold. Yeah, look it up if you don't believe me. We use aluminum to wrap baked potatoes now. Furthermore, there's another specific reason on why will we want to go to the moon specifically for more than just a visit. And that is because the moon is abundant in this special form of helium called helium-3, which is needed as a fuel in nuclear fusion reactions. Now, I'm not a chemist, so I'm not entirely sure what these equations mean, but from my limited understanding, it looks like you can fuse two helium-3 atoms and get a helium-4 atom, a proton, and some energy out of it. So apparently this is the equation that defines nuclear fusion reactions, right? In any case, though, it does appear that helium-3 would be quite useful if we ever wanted to perfect nuclear fusion technology and use it for things other than, you know, blowing each other up. Point is that if you're looking for economic reasons on why we should do space exploration, well, I just gave you two. So maybe in the future, helium-3 will be the new oil, right? So we'd have helium-3 barons instead of oil barons. That'd be kind of cool. ExxonMobil, if you're watching, yeah, take some notes. Anyways, this is just me talking though. What do you think is going to be the next big thing? Be sure to comment down below if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll leave the video here for today. Be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and consider subscribing if you like this series. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, links down below in the description as always. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.